Hi, it's John here with another quick video. This time we're going to be looking at the Awair element Type 4 sensor saturation, as mentioned by PlanetWatch last week. So we can see here on the screen that they tweeted out that the recycle bin figures on their Explorer suggest that the saturation point for Type 4 sensors has been attained. So what they mean by this is that because the number of Type 4 sensors has reached a certain amount, the daily input of planets into each tiered and type of sensor is starting to go down. So we can see here the Type 4 sensors have now, this was last week's photo, gone to a minus 92,000. So you can see the Type 3, Type 2s and the Type 1s are all plus figures still because there are very few of those sensors around at the moment. But because of the sudden wave and increase of Type 4 sensors, we've now reached a point where the amount going into the Type 4 sort of pool of money or pool of tokens is now slowly decreasing. So this, like I say, was last week, 19th of November, and there were 52.8 million tokens, 298 in the recycle bin. And if we have a look at the Explorer now, we can see that we have gone down by 162,000 this week, and we're now at 51.7 million. But the recycle bin has actually gone up. So let's just compare these two side by side so we can try and get a better idea of what's happened. So the previous week we had 52.8, we're now down to 51.7. But the recycle bin has actually increased. So we were at 298.92 million and we're now at 305.75 million. So we can see basically what's happening is whilst the other types of sensors are not saturated, the increase of planets is actually overflowing into the recycle bin, ready to be used when the Type 4 planets all run out. Now, if we're running out at 162,000 a week, I've done some calculations here to try and work out how long we've got left, and it's quite simple really. We don't even need to do too much at all. So here we have obviously the date, the week that the saturation started, the number of planets that we started with, the recycle bin, and the number of sensors. So we can see that after 1 week, we've had a decrease of 2% in our Type 4 planet pool here, but the recycle bin has actually increased by 2%. So obviously, if the number of sensors stayed exactly the same, we would actually never run out of planets, because 2% of 298 million is a lot more than losing 2% of 52 million. So there'd be a happy equilibrium here and we would carry on forever, quite happy getting our 23.04 tokens per day. Now, sadly, that isn't going to happen because we know that the number of sensors is going to keep on increasing, specifically for the Type 4. The Awair element is going to be selling more and more as time goes on, even though they did double the price to 299. Okay, let's just do a quick calculation here and see exactly how this is going to affect the future of the rewards that we receive. So we know currently we get 23 planets per day. So the value of that is currently this times this, and that is our current amount we're getting per day per sensor. So £7.37, which is, quite good. Now, as the saturation increases, so does the value of the company. So because there's going to be more data that PlanetWatch can sell to more companies, there's going to be more demand for the data that's being received. So hopefully what we can expect to see is the value of the token increase. So over the last 90 days, for example, well, even over the last 30 days, the token has gone up in price by 41%. So that's quite a lot, really. I believe over 90 days, it's about 97% increase over what it was. So if we continue to see a nice little trend of this going up, then when the planets do get used up in our Type 4 area here, and when the bin completely empties, we may start getting less tokens. So let's say we went down to having, I don't know, a drastic 5 tokens per day. So at the current value, that would be, let's do 5, current value, so at the current value, if everything stayed exactly the same with the token of the planet's token at 31p, we'd be going down to £1.60 per day if we went down to 5 planets per day per person. Now, if the token is actually going to increase, which, like I said, it should hopefully steadily increase. They've obviously just had their £10 million, $10 million investment, and there's some big names in the game now playing with PlanetWatch. So let's just take an example. Let's say we're going to have 5 planets per day still. This is the future value. But now let's say that the token is worth, I don't know, £1.50. So we've gone up by, let's say, £1.20, and we're now at £1.50 per token. So times £1.50. So we're now actually getting £7.50. So in theory, even if we went down to 5 tokens per day per person, as long as the value of planets increases, our sort of daily intake or daily income from our sensors will actually stay around the same. Now, obviously, the token could skyrocket and go, you know, stupid levels, and obviously we all hope that does happen, but we don't know, and no one can predict particularly for sure as to what will happen. But if the value of the token does stay the same, and a lot of people in the comments of this tweet are saying this, basically they don't want this to be saturated, they just want to carry on as we are. But if we did, at the current rate, we'd then run out of planets, and then we'd be getting our saturated value of £1.60 per day if the value stays the same. But like I say, if the value of the token, the planet token, increases because of all the more demand with all the data that we're getting now, or that they're getting I should say, then hopefully we could see something more along the lines of this. Now, we could be really lucky and, you know, maybe it will get 15 tokens per day and we'll start getting even more money than we do now. But to keep it fair, I'll leave it the same as the current value, and hopefully that kind of makes sense. And I know there's been a lot of people commenting about the saturation, and I think even Claudio said he wished he'd never used that word because it does sound bad. If something's saturated, it's kind of almost run out, isn't it? But it's not really the right word to use. I guess they've peaked, or they're at their peak of performance, because the number of sensors, if I can find the right page, is, you know, hit its goal at least. So it's 20,000 worldwide is pretty good. Not amazing, you know, amazing numbers at the moment, but I'm going to guess this is going to keep on increasing and increasing. And as long as this keeps on increasing and increasing, then everyone should be happy, because even when the recycle bin starts getting used, we may even go down to, you know, a couple of planets a day. Like I've said in here, if we did go down to a couple of planets a day, or 5 planets even, then we're still going to be getting the current, if not better, value as long as that token price increases. So yeah, don't panic. I think there's a lot of panic on Twitter about this in some of the comments here. A lot of people are getting quite upset. But yeah, hopefully everything's going to be fine. Obviously you could say that about any kind of crypto project, but yeah, I don't think there's any reason to panic particularly. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what your thoughts are down below, and if you're worried, if I'm completely wrong, or if you think I've made a mistake, do let me know, because I'm still learning as much as the next person is. But hopefully we're all doing good, and they're still trying to fix a few Awair element issues with the data streams, I believe. I hope this makes sense. Like I say, if I've made any mistakes or you think I'm completely wrong, then do let me know, as constructive criticism is always appreciated. Oh, before I go, I will just say I'm going to release a better version of this spreadsheet for other people to use if you wish. A few people have requested it. It's not very pretty at the moment, so I'm going to make a better version, and then you can stick your own data in there and play around with it to your heart's content. Okay, thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.